If you saw the last video, we were making a sweater and then we bailed and made a bra top. Now we're actually going to go back and make a sweater. So this is our first panel. I will count how many stitches are on it and the measurements, but we gotta make a whole second one. It's gonna be a cropped sweater. This goes the length of my shoulders, and we still got this yarn over here. So depending on how much we can get out of this, we might make the sleeves multicolored or black. But what you're gonna do is just chain however many is the length of your shoulders, and then we double crochet. All right, so I have 2 panels now. I will measure what the distance is, but it's depends on your width and how cropped you want it. So now what I'm going to do is build a neckline. I'm going to hold it up on me and figure out where on each side I want it to kind of go up like this. And Hank, please stop licking yourself. Thank you. And then I'm gonna put a safety pin there on both of the panels so that it makes kind of more of a circular, if that makes sense. So then I'll just double crochet back and forth a couple of rows. And then I'm going to also attach the sides and leave an armhole. But I want to do a layer of black and then attach it, or maybe 2 layers of black and then attach it, because when you attach it with the black just like this and then you turn it back inside out, you can see the black stitches, and I don't like that, so I'm trying to avoid that. But let me show you where I end up putting my safety pins and how I start building the neckline. So I did 15 chains in. That's where I found that I want to start building the neck. I'm going to do double crochet, I think 1 time all the way across, because I want it to be black here, and then I'll build it maybe twice on this side, come back over here, build it twice, and I'll show you what that looks like. Kind of looking like a bib, but hopefully we can, you know, figure this out. So what I did, a row of single crochets and then 2 rows of double crochet, and then I just did single crochets all the way around here and attached this top shoulder part. Now I'm going to attach this one. We're gonna put it on and see what the neckline looks like. I might want it to come in a little more because we're gonna do some ribbing for the neckline. I don't know how this is gonna turn out, so we shall see. Okay, definitely looking kind of like a bib. I think that adding the ribbing though will help, but I'm going to bring this in a little more, probably 1 inch on each side, so that it can be, the ribbing can be like a collar. So I'm gonna do that, and then we'll start on the arms, which is my least favorite part. This is turned inside out, and as you can see, I added the collar ribbing up top, and the seam is obviously on the inside, and then I have cinched up the armholes, and the seam is here. And now I have this ribbing. I will show you how to make the ribbing when I show you how to make the arms, but it's just chain of 6 and then you do the ribbing stitch. I'm going to add this to the bottom, then all we have to do is the arms. Make sure you're working everything inside out so that the seam is not on the outside. And yeah, I will show you how we do this ribbing and how we do the arm. Here's a little preview. It's gonna be a little bubble arm. I know this angle is weird, but this is the best we can get right now. So we're going to start with the ribbing. What you're gonna do is make a slip knot, and the way I do it is make a circle, and the long part attached to the ball of yarn is on the top, and then you go under with that piece and pull it through. And now I'm using a 6mm hook, and we are going to chain 6. we have our 6 chained now. So after chaining 6, we are going to go in the back loop only, and we're going to do a single crochet in these 5 V's. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then chain 1 and turn it. And then you're going to crochet in the back loop only again 5 times, chain 1 and then turn it. And then you just keep doing that, and this will build, and you will just want to make it the length of your wrist. We have our ribbing right here, and I'm going to bring it together. I'm gonna go this way. And as you can see right here, there will be some V's. I'm going to just put it in one side like we've been doing, back loop, and connect it with just a single crochet. Wrap around, pull through in both sides, wrap around, pull through. So we've connected that, and the seam is on the outside, so I'm going to turn it the other way. Sorry guys. What's wrong, baby? So I turned the cuff to the other side so that the seam isn't showing, and now I'm just going to single crochet all the way around. I'm going to put a stitch marker in first before I start, and you just kind of guess, because there's not any V's on these edges, and just do single crochet all the way around. I'm going to put the pattern down below, write it out, and I'll write it out on the screen as well, but I'll also show you. I know that my camera angle is not the best. I'm gonna have to figure that out. So I have my stitch marker here, and I just connected the last 2 V's, and then I put my stitch marker in, and I just use it as a safety pin. Now what we're going to do is rows 2 through 7, we're gonna do double crochet 3 times and then an increase, which is 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So we go wrap around into the V, wrap around out, around through 2, around through 2. There's 1, around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. There's 2, around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2. There's 3, and then an increase. So in this next V, we're going to do 2 in the same spot. So around, in, around, out, around through 2, around through 2, and then in the same spot. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing that until we reach back here. I don't know if we're going to end on an increase, because I didn't actually count the amount of these to see if it will reach back properly, if that makes sense. But even if we come back and we're ending on just like a double crochet, not an increase, we're just gonna keep going. So I hope that makes sense. So I usually like to have my notebook next to me, and since we did row 2, I will put a line just saying that we've done the first one to keep track. So rows 2 through 7, we're going to do that same pattern, double crochet 3 and then increase. I've just barely gone all the way around with that pattern. I have 2 more stitches until I reach the stitch marker, and I am on an increase. So I'm just going to keep going with 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, increase, and keep that going. That way the increases are not in the same spot, if that makes sense. It's kind of throughout. So this is row 3, and I'm gonna do the same pattern all the way around. So we finished rows 2 through 7, and as you can see, we have this wavy part, and that's because when we increased at different, I guess, in different spots every time. If you increase at the same spot, it's going to make it like a weird like hexagon type shape. Hopefully yours looks like this. Next, row 8, we are going to just do double crochets around, and then we're going to start decreasing. So just do 1 round of straight double crochets. Next row, we're going to start decreasing. So we're going to do 3 normal double crochets and then a decrease, which means we skip the 4th and go into the 5th. And then 3 double crochets, skip 1, and that's your decrease. And it's going to start making it kind of a balloon shape. Sorry, that is my baby. It's going to bring it in a little bit. That is what we do for row 9. We made it to the end, and so now we are just going to do another row going around of double crochets, and then we will do another row of decreases, but the next time we will do 2 double crochets and then a decrease instead of 3. So after doing the 2 and then decrease, you're going to just keep going around with double crochets, and it will build the sleeve up to your desired length. But first I'm going to check, this is our sweater part. I'm going to make sure that it's an okay length for this hole. So if you just put it up here, it doesn't have to be perfect, but that will do. So now I'm just going to do double crochets all the way until we reach my arm length. We have one arm on the sweater done, and then I made the second arm, and I just made sure that it was the same length. Now we're going to attach it. What you're gonna do is, I like to start usually on the bottom of the sleeve. So I take my sleeve and put it lined up with the bottom seam, but we have to do it from the inside because then you'll have a seam on the outside, which we don't want. So you line it up, and then you're gonna flip the garment inside out. And then I'm just going to start, I need to put my string through. And then I'm going to start just doing a single crochet from this bottom seam, and then put it in the one that you're connecting. And then you just start doing single crochets around, and the V's might not line up perfectly because we didn't actually count. We're just kind of guessing how wide the sleeve is. So you might have to skip a couple or do a couple double crochet, or to do 2 single crochets in one spot if it's not looking like it's lining up. We made the seam inside going around, and now I just have to cut the string off. And then we're gonna pull it through, and we have to weave it in, but I like to do a knot before I weave it in, just to try to secure it. And then I have my yarn needle, and we're just gonna weave it in so that you can't see the end of the string, and then we are finished. try it on and ignore the fact that I'm wearing red pants because it does not match. Oh, and my tripod's falling. Also, if I could redo this, I would do it with cotton yarn because I used acrylic and it's going to be the hottest sweater in the world. But I might do a different one that's oversized for the winter and use cotton yarn.